We are not romancing the stone on this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio. We're not romancing the stupid either. We'll explain that, which means we're ready to solve the problems of the world one weekly whiskey at a time. I'm your host, Kavan Bordelon, and that means that Implicit Bias Radio is back. We would like to welcome all of our listeners in New Orleans, Lafayette, Monroe, Vidalia. If you're listening on the podcast side, we'd like to welcome in those listening in Dallas, Texas, Rancho Cucamonga, California. Seriously, we're downloaded there. Even our international listeners in Germany, the UK, they're probably trying to extradite us there, but, you know, we really don't care. Mexico and, of course, Canada, just as we'd like to welcome those of you who still think that communism just hasn't been done right yet. Let me start with a quick confession here. I love stupid people. Not in the way that you actually might think, like I don't admire them, I don't emulate them, but I do find them endlessly entertaining. Why? Because history, my friends, is littered with their greatest hits. We, as a species, like to romanticize the past like it's some kind of golden age where men were men, women were women, and everyone died at 35 from dysentery. We look back at certain eras, chivalry, revolution, utopian movements, with misty-eyed nostalgia, as if stupidity weren't the common thread running through them all. Take chivalry, for example. The idea of knights in shining armor rescuing damsels in distress sounds lovely until you actually start to think about it. And then you realize that that armor weighed 60 pounds. It probably smelled like a locker room. And most knights were illiterate warlords who'd stab you over a pig. Romantic? Sure, if you like the smell of improperly cleaned chitlins. Nothing, however, gets romanticized quite like ideology, particularly the kind that promises paradise on earth and delivers mass graves instead. Communism holds the gold medal here. Tens of millions dead, starved, shot, worked to death, and yet, like a bad sitcom that won't get canceled, it just keeps getting rebooted. Young, smart people today here seize the means of production, and they seem to think that it sounds cool, like something out of the Hunger Games, which incidentally was supposed to be a warning, not an instruction manual. The Bible, however, interestingly enough, never uses the word smart, but it does use the word wise an awful lot. There's a huge difference, by the way. Smart is knowing how to build a tactical thermonuclear device in your garage. Wise is knowing not to. Smart is coming up with a 5-year plan to collectivize agriculture. Wise is realizing that every time someone tries that, people end up boiling their own shoes for soup. One thing we maybe should romanticize? Comedy, which unfortunately has been killed by those same smart people who think the good times were bad and the bad times were good. The last really, truly funny movie was made roughly 20 years ago. I mean, look, Office Space understood the soul-crushing absurdity of modern life in 2026. Blazing Saddles knew that the only way to deal with stupid people was to laugh at them so hard that they blushed. Airplane proved that jokes could be dumb and brilliant at the same time. Today, we get superhero quips and corporate-approved edginess that offends no one and amuses even fewer. We now, though, have reached a level of romanticizing of stupidity. We look back and we think that these stupid people were the best of our times. Our media proclaims them as experts in hermaphroditic, gender-neutral chameleon folk art, and then tells us that we need to heed every word they say. The romanticism of bad ideas, it isn't harmless nostalgia. It's actually dangerous. People forget that the Soviet Union wasn't just bad. It was cartoonishly bad. Ration lines longer than a DMV on a Monday, apartments built so shoddily that doors wouldn't close, and a bureaucracy so inefficient that it made Idiocracy look like a documentary. And yet, here we are, with college kids wearing Che Guevara shirts, a man who murdered his way through Cuba like a Latin American Stalin, now reduced to a fashion statement. It takes wisdom to see through the fog of this romanticism, to see through the fog of romanticism of stupidity, to recognize that the past, in a lot of ways, wasn't better. It was just farther away. To understand that every utopian promise comes with a body count hidden in the fine print. And most importantly, to laugh. Because if we don't, we'll cry. Or worse, repeat the same mistakes, just with better Wi-Fi. So raise your glasses to wisdom, to laughter, and to never, ever trusting anyone who says, oh, this time it'll work. Remember, it was the smart people who romanticized utopia and told us to do away with everything that made people enjoy life. What they didn't want to accept, it's everyone's right that if we can't laugh at ourselves, we get to laugh at everybody else. Stick around for more Implicit Bias Radio. Cheers. Wow, that was quick, Walker. I had no idea we were about to start back up with Implicit Bias Radio.
Well, we did.
Thanks for actually doing your job for once. All right, I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. This is Implicit Bias Radio. Welcome back to the show where we do everything we can to, just as your father, your uncle, your crazy conspiracy theorist uncle, who pretty much was right on everything, got together, had that conversation where they solved the problems of the world, and they did it over whiskey, which is what we're about to talk about here in the Mr. Lester's top secret podcast lair, located somewhere in downtown Lafayette, Louisiana. All right, let me introduce you to the crew who is here with us this week. It is an OG crew on this week's show. Actually, I don't remember the last time we've had, or if we've ever had, this particular version of the OG crew, because the Rustic Renegade is off doing what the Rustic Renegade does. He does interesting things, and he's running security for, I don't know, for Cardi B or somebody like that. Yeah.
He's doing things that he can't talk about.
Correct.
He can't tell us.
Which is what he does. Yeah. That is the voice of Renee Girard, who is Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. It's good to have you, Renee.
It's great to be here. And I got here early enough that I stole the comfy chair.
Yeah.
I beat Grant and Mike out of it.
That's the other two members of the show. They are at the Mr. Lester's bar here in the TSPL. It is great to have Mike Trammell back with us. Mike, I mean, you're wearing the hat, which means nobody's actually going to see your face because the light is not going to be there on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, which, by the way, please go like, follow, share.
Kevon, it's not all about the face, man. It's all about up here. What's up here? All the good stuff.
So you're telling me you brought nothing to the show this week?
Oh, it's been what, 5 years? I've been doing that. It's been successful. You keep calling me back.
Hey, look, if it works, it works, right? And you know, we're glad to have you, Mike. Thank you for being a part of the show.
You know, I was like, man, we need some walk-up music. Like whenever we're on the show, Walker, can you get us some like walking up, like we're walking?
So
up?
you actually, everybody kind of has walk-up music, and it airs in between the segments of the show on the radio. So if you're listening on podcast, the bump, what we call bump music, everybody's got kind of their own walk-up music. Now, here's the challenge for you when you listen, Mike, because I know you don't listen. When you do listen, this is going to be the challenge, which is figure out what walk-up music is yours.
It has been a long time since I've been here.
It's great to have you back, though. You look tanned. You look like you've taken some vacations, which I love to see.
Vacation? Maybe coming up. I don't know about in the past.
Okay.
Maybe this is from riding a vehicle. I got the farmer's tan. Maybe.
Oh, okay. All right. Sitting next to him at the bar is Grant Galatas, and I'm gonna tell on you, Grant. Here, Grant was not supposed to be here this week, and it was funny because so we had some cancellations in scheduling, and I was like, hey, let me text Grant, and then Grant was like, I'm not going to text Kevon for 8 hours. So I was like, let me just get a backup. So we got a backup, and then we had somebody else cancel, but this is how good of a human being Grant Galatas is. I literally texted Grant Galatas 35 minutes before we started recording. And I was like, hey, if you want to come, I'll be there. I got you back. That's who Grant Galatas is. That's why he is here. So Grant, thank you. Cheers to you on the show.
Absolutely not a problem, Kevon. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to be here. I'm going to drink some whiskey. I'm going to say hi to Renee and to Mike T.
Hey, Grant.
And I'm going to fill a chair this week, if that's okay.
Well, look, I know you have opinions on the stories that I sent, and I did send you the stories this time at least.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I did.
I got them 15 minutes ago. So
yeah, you did. I mean,
it wasn't a deep dive into all the stories, but it was a fairly shallow
And some of the stories this week are, I mean, let's face it, they're just like my emotional capacity, incredibly shallow. So, that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a fun show.
It's always fun. I don't care if it's 2 minutes before broadcast, just give me a call. It's always fun, especially with the OG crew.
Yeah.
It's old hat for us who have been doing it for 5, almost 6 years now.
Yeah.
It's very relaxed. It's laid back. It's fun. So absolutely not a problem. I'm just not going to bid on the chain, if that's okay.
That is absolutely fine.
Okay,
I will as an appreciation to you, I will take your bid. It will not count as an official bid on the what would you pay championship belt chain presented by Box Drop.
I mean, I'm around jewelry all day. It's the last thing I want to do.
Grant,
7 pounds around.
You
my
didn't
neck.
have to say anything. You could have just bid like $3,000, and that would have been.
I don't know if you heard it, Renee, but I bid in rubles last week.
Oh,
he
well,
did.
there you go.
He did.
Oh,
He did. Okay.
And he still won.
Yeah, he did.
Still
He did
won.
still win. Okay, and that's the voice of Walker, who actually has shown up 2 weeks in a row, which is like a shocker. Don't give me that, Walker. You know that every week it was like either he wouldn't call and I found out some other way, or like an hour before he's like, "Hey, I just wanted you to know it's all worked out." I mean, and it wasn't.
I mean, look, I hate to
That's
miss
what
it.
I thought.
I really do.
Sure you
But
did.
just some things came up for work. But I'm here.
We even have our studio audience here this
Yes,
week.
we have our audience.
Which is really cool. We have our studio audience, and he comes bearing gifts, which is more weekly whiskeys. So you never know how much fun hour 2 is
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
it's
be.
going to be fun.
Okay, so let's get to our weekly whiskey from the Implicit Bias Liquor Collective, our partner. They are the OG Liquor Collective partner here on the show. It's New News Markets,
Yep.
Youngsville, Scott, Milton, Maurice, and it is a pick, as you would expect. Now, this is not the first time we've had Dark Arts. But what was really interesting to me, I was actually at a distributor meeting for those who distribute, the company that distributes Dark Arts in Louisiana. And this is the explanation that I was given by Blaine Broussard of New News with regards to Dark Arts, and it makes total sense. So Old Carter was there. Mark Carter of Old Carter was there. He is kind of regarded as one of the master blenders in the industry because he blends different whiskeys and he gets a just ridiculously beautiful profile. And the prices of those bottles reflect that. But we've reviewed some of those bottles here on the show, and man, they are really, really good. If he is a master blender, Dark Arts is the master finisher. So they finish almost everything they do, and they finish with all kinds of different stuff. They do a lot of port wine, they do a lot of sherry, they do a lot of rum, they do all kinds of different cask finishes. This one, and when New News gave me the bottle, I knew this was probably going to be well liked on the show. When they gave me the bottle and I saw that this was finished with white French oak staves, I went, oh, we've had a few white French oak stave finishes on the show before. And the level of luxury that it adds to a bottle, to me, is one of the premier finishes out there. It has to be done really well. Combine those two things, a great wood to finish with and someone who understands finishing really well. And that, I think, is what we're going to get with this bottle of Dark Arts, a New News pick finished with white French oak staves. So I want to start at the bar, and I want to start with the guy who always tells us we serve him donkey whiskey. Yeah, see, I didn't have to mention his name. He knew exactly who it was.
Hee-haw. Apparently, I haven't been on the show for a while, so y'all actually had some good stuff here lately. I must be the backup to the backup to the backup on this one because I definitely shouldn't have been called for this. This is very good. This is... So I'm one of those people who don't drink coffee, but I like the smell of coffee.
Fair.
I love the smell of coffee. Like when I know there's downtown, there's a
roaster. Yeah.
the roaster right here. And when you cross the Baton Rouge Bridge,
Community coffee's
yes,
right there.
I love it. I love that. But
Of course, we drink Kacheris in the house and on the show, but yeah, I mean, and that's the smell of roasting coffee is just one of those beautiful things that makes the human experience better, I think. So I agree with you here.
Right. I love the smell. But I do not drink coffee. But this, to the nose, it's a strong caramel coffee smell to me.
Okay.
Very good. Very, very arousing.
He's sitting too close to Grant to say the word arousing. That's all I know.
Up front, a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of spice, but spice in the front. I hit spice, but then it's like a real gentle almost like a vanilla cream on the back end. Very good back end. The back end's like really refreshing, and it's very sweet. That's what I really like about it. Very
So
sweet.
spicy in the front, refreshing in the rear is what you're telling me. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Like you. Very good.
I saw Grant start to snicker at the bar, and we were picking
he's not
it up.
saying anything tonight. So.
Well, I'm about to ask him what he thinks about the
But,
whiskey because I know
his
he's already
hands are moving
tasted
around
it.
here a lot, though.
All right, while y'all move the mic, I want to go to Walker. Walker, I'm curious, what do you think of this one? Because you have kind of turned into, I don't want to say a whiskey snob on the show, because it's not a snob. You just kind of like everything we bring on the show lately.
Well, you've been bringing some good stuff, so keep it up. But
I do my job. When you do yours, you can tell me how to do mine.
I do.
Dang.
I like this one. It was really, really good. I got like a Coke kind of smell and a taste right away, and then after a few sips, I got the caramel or caramel, as Renee says, on it. But I really do enjoy this one. It's a smooth drinker.
Yeah, I love the way this is proofed, because this is proofed really where we like whiskeys to be proofed here on the show, but it doesn't necessarily drink that way.
No.
This is an easy drinker. It's an easy sipper for me, and I do like the flavor profile. So, Grant, I'm curious as to what you take off of this particular whiskey. Does it fit the profile you like?
Absolutely. I've been doing really well here lately when I'm on, because I do look for the caramel, the vanilla. God, this one's it's just so flavor rich that I just wanted to take a big scoop of vanilla ice cream and put it right in the middle of the glass and drink it as a float. I mean, because seriously, like Mike said, you put your nose in this glass and it's just overwhelming caramel. And
So, first of
vanilla.
all, I absolutely agree with you. I could sit here and nose hump this glass all night, just because the big caramel that I got off of that first just big inhale was amazing. It really was almost an overpowering caramel, unlike any bourbon I've ever had on the show. And I mean, like you said, Grant, we've been doing this for almost 6 years.
Yeah.
Call it an average of 2 whiskeys a week.
5 3/4 years.
I mean, we're inching up. If you do 60 or 52 times 2, we're inching up on 500-600 bottles on the show.
Some people would think we have a problem.
I don't have an issue.
I don't have an issue
I
with
might say
it,
I
but,
don't spill liquor. I don't have a problem. I mean, I like to keep smelling it, but that's a whole nother story.
It's crazy, because I remember year one, I was just so amazed at the Hibiki.
Yes.
Oh.
That was my favorite. I mean, I bought 3 or 4 bottles of that and just held on to that for a while.
And there was a
It's-
few weeks that was like the 3rd and 4th bottle of the week.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the Hibiki was just I don't remember it being this sweet. So we just keep on going deeper and deeper into this, and the sweetness. If I'm gonna drink a glass of fire water, I definitely want it to be somewhat pleasant and sweet, and all of these lately, and I'm just glad we could do one for Trammell. Every time I know Trammell's coming on, I'm like, yeah, we got to get a good bottle organ.
This is why he's the best.
Okay, so the really funny part is Renee actually brought something up, triggered a memory for those who are OG for our listeners.
And
you
the
might
old
remember
studio.
we had the old studio. We actually had someone go from our old studio to a restaurant across the street and buy a bottle of Hibiki from behind the bar in the restaurant and
that was
bring it
more
up to
than
the show.
that was more than one time that happened. That was a few times that happened.
Yeah, but it wasn't it wasn't a regular occurrence, but it did happen more than once.
Yes.
It happened a few times. It was
yes.
fun. Yeah, and it made us talk about how it happened afterwards.
Yes.
All right. So Renee, I'm curious. Where do you land on this when you are the proof princess and this is not in your wheelhouse on proof?
No, it is a little higher than what I normally like on proof, but it drinks right in my wheelhouse. I mean, it's even though it's a 116, it comes down. To me, it drinks like 100. I mean, it's very smooth, no bite, little bit of sweetness to it. Like y'all said before, the caramel bomb on nose humping it is just unreal. And when Trammell said it, the vanilla cream on the back, Yeah, I'd pick up on that vanilla.
You like that vanilla cream on the back, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my back, yeah.
Okay, so on this new news bottle of Dark Arts finished with white French oak staves. So first of all, to me, this is velvety. When I think about how it actually sits on the palate, it is like, for lack of a better term, sipping velvet. Because it is so smooth. It is luxurious when you sip it. It's almost like you just know that this is elevated the second you get that sip. The nose in front of it, man, you often hear people joke about, oh man, I saw you, or that entered the room 10 minutes before you did. The nose on this alone, the second you smell it, you go, oh, I cannot wait to get another sip. And then I start to get that little bit of baking spice that you would expect. I get that sweetness. It starts to give you some of the caramel, but it's not a huge caramel bomb on the palate.
No.
Which I find really interesting to have that much caramel on the nose.
Yeah, and you get it on the nose, but not on the tongue.
Correct.
That was strange, but.
And then it starts to sit. I get a little bit of nuttiness to it. Almost like a pecan, almost like a little bit of pecan.
Nutmeg.
Maybe a little nutmeg, a little nutmeg. Yeah, but I get almost pecan pie on this.
The more I try it, I'm getting more of a smoke on the back end.
And I do, yes. And that's, okay, so to be clear, my wife has this tradition in her family because she always said her grandmother always burned the pecan pies. Mm-hmm. So my wife basically says that if pecan pie is not burned, it's not done. So I am not a huge pecan pie guy. I have only really started to kind of like it lately, but I do like that almost smokiness on the pecan in the pie. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. So I get that smoke. Almost, Mike, maybe correct me here, almost like it's pecan smoke.
To me, it kind of tastes like, I know Walker's going to probably Vic's Peanuts at the Cajuns games. And when sometimes you'll get a burnt, like sometimes some of the peanuts will be a little burnt. I love them like that. That's kind of what I'm getting, that burnt kind of pecan, like what you're saying right there.
Yeah, and then I get that vanilla, that kind of creamy mouthfeel, and I know I'm going to catch something for that one. But I get that creamy mouthfeel on this.
You throw it at me, but you can't take it.
No, did I say I couldn't take it? I said it, and I'm like, just bring it up because I know it's coming. But I get that mouthfeel that is creamy on this, velvety, and it's just a really special drinker.
Yes.
When you think about what
good.
this is, it's the age statement is 8.5 years.
Right.
Which is another thing where you go, okay, this has had some time to get really mature. This to me is mature. It is refined. It is beautiful on the palate. It is luxurious and just one of those that you go, okay,
and like
this is something special.
And like a lot of other whiskeys that we do that are finished, like cognacs and stuff, this is just a French white oak, which is just barrel finished. I mean, basically so there's no extra flavors. This is good whiskey.
Okay, so very quickly, we are going to rate this on the Morse Whiskey Rating Code and play What Would You Pay? I know we're going over, Walker, because you gave me the finger, but we'll just have to deal. Walker, matter of fact, we'll start with you. Number one, what would you pay for an 8.5-year-old finished bourbon of this caliber? And where do you rate this on the Morse Whiskey Rating Code? A red, I wouldn't drink it even if it was free. A yellow, I would drink it, but only if it was free. A green, I would buy this, or a blue, I would seek this out.
$75 blue.
Cheapskate. To the bar. Let's go. Who wants to start?
Well, we got to fill in all this time with Caleb not being here.
No, we don't, because actually we're at time for this
But
segment.
he's got like a 30-minute segment where he tells, his mama was in the kitchen. And how did y'all feel this tonight? This is one of the best I've had since I've been on the show. I swear, this is a top 3. This is really great. It's not good. It's great. I love the sweetness in this. It's the profile on that back end now. I'm just getting more and more smoke, and man, it is awesome. Definite. I don't care what Caleb says. It's a bright blue, dark blue. It's a blue.
Okay.
Man, I want to go expensive on this because it's so good. I'm gonna go 99.
$99.
But I think it's more.
Okay. Oh, but you think it's more. All right. Grant Galatas, where are you going to rate this on the Morse Whiskey rating code, and what would you pay?
Blue 88.
Blue and 88. Renee?
I'm saying blue 70.
70. He just doesn't want the belt because he knows when I said cheapskate to Walker over here, who wore his slides again this week. All right. The winner of the What Would You Pay Championship Belt Chain presented by Box Drop of Lafayette is Box Drop of Lafayette. And here's why. Because this is $99.99 at New News.
Cool. Almost on the spot.
99 cents away. And yes, it is an absolute blue here on Implicit Bias Radio. Walker's telling me we're way over. We're going to take a break, come back, start solving the problems of the world right after this. We refuse to romanticize stupidity on this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. Our co-host, Caleb Morse, is doing Caleb Morse things somewhere in the world where he apparently can't tell us what's going on, or he'd have to kill us, which is why we're thinking we may never see Burley again. Anyway, no, Burley's doing fine. Shout out to Burley Pellerin, who had he had a procedure done. He's fine. Everything's good. We're glad that he is not going to have to be in a walking boot for extended time and all that good stuff. So we're thinking about you, Burley. We love you, brother. And we're looking forward to you coming back on Implicit Bias Radio. So anyway, we refuse to romanticize stupidity. And I believe that in the last 2 weeks, we have one of the greatest exercises in the romanticism of morons in the history of human existence. And it existed with a group called Code Pink. And Code Pink, for those who don't know, ended up flying to Cuba to tell Cubans who have no power, apparently little water or food, because if they don't have power, the water plants are down, the electricity plants obviously are having issues.
It's not power like political power. Power like
correct.
Their lights don't work.
Correct. Thank you for clarifying. Else. Yes. It literally is not, they don't have the power of the individual. They don't have electricity.
Yeah.
As we like to say in the South. So this group of American leftists who are self-avowed communists, and when we say Code Pink, you know, because they all wore pink hats and they screamed at the sky at nothing in 2016.
Is that the same group?
It's the same people
that did the protest years ago
the
with
hats.
the pink hat? Oh, okay.
Yep. We can't call them what kind of hats they were on the radio because according to George Carlin, that is one of the 7 words you cannot say on broadcast. But regardless, and it starts with a P for those who know.
Yes.
Regardless, they flew to Cuba to tell Cubans who have no electricity, which means that water's down, sewers got problems, they've got all this other stuff, how terrible it is to live in the United States under capitalism because communism is so much better.
Well, and these people flew first class. Was it a chartered plane?
I believe it was a chartered plane. So not all of them were first class.
But a majority of them were. And they stayed in a 5-star hotel, which I didn't know Cuba had any 5-star hotels because
I didn't either.
You know, because Cuba's been getting run down.
They're still driving cars from 1912. I mean,
you got to realize that this happened 64 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, their infrastructure has not been taken care of for 64 years. So it's all worn out. Even the cars, the 1950s cars, they're using whatever bits and pieces they can to make parts to keep them running because they can't get new cars in that country.
What I really have issue with is this gets so much worse than them just going down and living it up. So first of all, yes, they stay in a 5-star hotel. Second of all, they are on first class accommodations with regards to their airfare to Cuba. One of the guys who's running the whole program is wearing like a $700 shirt, like $1,200 sunglasses or pair of glasses to tell people how bad things are in the United States under capitalism when they're trying to make sure they have dinner in Cuba.
Well, and I mean, the place that they're staying is a hotel that the locals are not even allowed to go in. In Cuba, there are tourist places that only outsiders, people that are non-Cuban residents, can go to. the locals are not even allowed to go there.
So Grant, Trammell, did y'all follow this story at all?
Not as much. It's a shame because it becomes so performative. But all they're doing is
Ring
they're-
the bell. That's a good word. Performative.
It's true because they don't realize, like you said, you show up down there where these people, they're garbage. They have no garbage collection, no electricity, no way to the simple necessities in life. But they know that they'll go down there and they'll put videos of it on their sites or whatever, and their ignorant base will look at the videos and say, "Oh my God, this is horrible." But they don't see the absurdity in what they're doing. It's just another situation where the left side and the left way to think, like with Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Yeah.
It was one of the senators flew down and had breakfast with
Thought he had
Garcia.
margaritas with him.
Yeah, correct. But they don't realize it's 80-20 and 90-10 issues that they just don't care. They're siding against America. You want to go down to Cuba and say how communism works so well and capitalism just sucks basically, and it's so performative that they don't realize what they're doing. I really don't think you can. I don't see how they justify it. How do you justify that sort of behavior when most of common sense America looks at that and goes, "Are these people serious?"
I love you answered your own question, I think, because you said it. You said 3 words, and you can ring the bell. We're going to attribute this to you. Their ignorant base.
Yeah.
When you talk about this is exactly what the romanticism of stupidity is. It is, I live it up in the United States. You don't have electricity in Cuba right now. They are going to shut down the electrical grid to keep my hotel running. But I can send that video back to people in the United States, and my ignorant moron base is going to buy it, to believe it, and to continue to vote that way. And it actually gets worse, and I'll explain that in a minute. Trammell, you wanted to contribute?
It's just aggravating because the whole TikTok, the Reels videos that come out from this, I mean, that's really, to me, a lot of this is just promoting themselves. It's not really go down there and help. If you really want to go down there and help, stay down there and bring the money in, funnel it in, bring them. I mean, like the missions do. I mean, they're there to help feed and help build housing. These people they're on the. I did see the picture. I didn't really read into it a lot, but I saw the picture of the pink hats, and I saw Caleb in the back row by the bathroom. That's probably where he's at now. But
It probably is.
But I mean, it's just a publicity stunt, and it's kind of what Grant was just saying. It's what was the word? Performative.
Okay, I'm going to make this even worse because it goes beyond performative. This is why we cannot romanticize stupidity. Because you've got all these people, that ignorant base that you're talking about, Grant, that goes down there and watches the videos. Oh, this is great. They are telling people exactly how bad capitalism is and how good communism is for them. You know how good communism is? It's so good that these same people threw a party outside the hotel with some foreign rap music group whose speakers and equipment required so much electricity. Please don't believe me on this, that it shut down the grid and there was a hospital on the grid. And there were people on life support who did not survive the concert put on for the Code Pink people because they literally took all of the electricity. And what the ignorant base doesn't realize is this, is that when communism is implemented here, that base, they're not the people getting the electricity. They're going to be the people who have their electricity taken from them. They're going to be the people who won't have garbage pickup and won't have sewage and won't have all of the things that electricity and that money can create. Because communism does one thing. It centralizes power. And in this world, as much as I hate to say it, power, another synonym for it is money.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what we've been talking about on the show for a long, long time. It's a club and we ain't in it. Because the people at the top, like we do kind of sort of have here.
Well, we absolutely have them here.
They are in the club that we aren't in. And that's the same thing that's happening in the communistic system.
Now, here's the fun part about this conversation. These Code Pink people, because this is the question I have.
Where did they get all the money to do this? You know, they charter a plane. It costs money to go down there. They had to bring stuff to eat because I'm sure they don't have a lot of food to go. And, you know, I'm sure that hotel that they had to pay for, they had to get generators and that to provide power to the hotel. I'm sure they had to pay for that. So these anti-capitalist people, where the hell did they get all their money from?
Ilhan Omar.
Actually, Ilhan Omar, I don't
she
think
footed the bill, all of the Minnesota fraud money. She has a lot of money stashed away from that.
It was funded by the Quality Leering Center.
Yeah.
So there actually is an American businessman that was tied to a lot of this today.
Not Soros.
No, it was not Soros. And I'll have to go find the guy's name. He is an American businessman. He is not of Native American descent or Anglo-Saxon descent. He is from out of the country who came here, made his fortune, and now is hiding out in another country. Why? Because they're looking for him. I'll find the name during the break and come back because Walker's giving me the finger. If you're watching on YouTube, X, Instagram, I'm giving him the finger back. We will come back with more Implicit Bias Radio right after this. Final segment of hour one of this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio. There's actually a backstory because we actually did this segment already, but we messed up a citation. Like we blamed something on someone that they didn't do. So we're re-recording this segment so that we get it right because that's what we do on Implicit Bias Radio. We will not air something that is just completely wrong.
Well, I thought you just wanted us to sit here and drink more whiskey, so we have to do it again.
You wanted to sit here and drink more whiskey.
Oh, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I thought you were talking about the bathroom. I'm sorry.
No.
I thought y'all were blaming me.
No, Trammell, not. Well, we could blame it on you. I mean, why not? Anyway, let's go into the final story of this segment, and it's this. It is, man, right now, we are bombing the snot and lots of probably other bodily fluids out of the country of Iran.
Yeah, I was going to say more than snot.
Yeah, it's probably coming out both ends, if you know what I mean. And
vanilla cream.
And allegedly, Trammell, that was good. Ring the bell. Allegedly, CNN ends up with video of the underground bunkers housing all of the missiles that Iran allegedly still has, all the trucks, all this.
Well, I don't know if it's all of them.
Oh, it might be
this
one or two.
Is just one of the bunkers.
Oh, okay.
With the trucks and the launchers and the drones and the missiles and that video just does not look believable to me.
Look, I thought about this metaphor earlier today about what's happening basically right now in Iran. And y'all have already heard this once, but we'll see if I can replicate it. Imagine Shaquille O'Neal basically confined to the circle at the top of the key on a basketball court, right at the free throw line.
Which is where Shaquille normally hung out anyway.
Well, no, because he would hang for about 4.5 seconds right underneath the goal and never got called for 3 seconds. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But Shaquille is confined to the circle right at the top of the key from the free throw line, which is all good because he can never make a free throw anyway. But that's a whole different story. He's playing defense right now.
Right.
And Larry Bird gets to run around outside the three-point line and just rain down threes from outside. Shaquille has an unlimited amount of basketballs to try and win this game, but he's got to throw them from where he is into the goal on the other side of the court.
And he can't make a free throw.
Much less, he might hit the rim every now and then at the other end of the court, but he's not making it in the basket. We are Larry Bird. Iran is Shaquille O'Neal in this situation, right? Pick any big center that you want. It could have been Hakeem. It could have been I don't know, could have been a Kareem. I don't care. My point is, we are raining down bombs on Iran, and you are telling me that CNN gets unprecedented access, as they put on their graphic, I believe, unprecedented access to the tunnels underneath Iran?
Makes me think it was a propaganda film that was done by the Iranian government and released to a kinder, more understanding media in the United States.
So when you say kinder, more understanding, Grant, I think you would expound upon that with CNN. I mean, would you say that CNN is kinder and more understanding to the Iranians than they are to the country where CNN is based?
Absolutely. For years, I think what I brought up was the first Trump administration. For 3.5 years, we heard Russia collusion at least 6,000 times within his, which also proved to be false. So yeah, CNN, if you want to find somebody anti-Trump, CNN, MS Now. It's the perfect landing spot for this because that's all they have to do in Iran is turn on their television and see how CNN and the other guys treat Trump on a daily basis.
And CNN is worldwide. I mean, there's other countries watching.
Okay,
that's all they have
including
to do
every airport in the world because they have a contract.
But
with them.
that's a great point though, because Al Jazeera is worldwide too. Why not give Al Jazeera unprecedented access to show all your Middle Eastern brethren
how
you're surviving the great Satan of the West?
Because people in the United States do not watch Al Jazeera.
What?
Al Jazeera.
Al Jazeera.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one. They don't. We don't. I mean, we don't watch it. They
Fair.
do. They might watch it in the rest of the world, but in the United States, they don't. And I would personally, I think the left-leaning people in the United States, they watch CNN regularly. So if you're going to release a video like that, wouldn't you put it on the news media that the people that would be more understanding or leaning towards
More
you?
sympathetic?
Yeah, that's a good word. Sympathetic's a good word. You would put it on that news media.
I'm amazed you got all 4 syllables.
Well,
anyway.
Sympathetic. Yeah, it's 4 syllables. Yeah. Okay. But I didn't say it. You did.
Okay. I am not convinced with this video.
Oh, I think it's faked. But I think they released it to the right media.
What was the point? What was the point of the video? Were they just saying, "Look, we're still kind of strong over here. Look,
okay.
The war is going on. The war is going to go on longer than what Trump is saying.
Yeah, here's what I believe. What I believe is the point that goes back to something that was said by Abraham Lincoln. Right? A nation divided cannot stand. The goal is to divide the American people.
Well, the Democrats been doing that for the last 8
they don't need
8 years.
in that department.
I'm going to take this a step farther because right now we are dealing with a scenario that is alarming in the United States. The government technically has some departments that are unfunded right now.
A major department.
Correct.
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security.
Yes.
So if you were sitting in the Pentagon, what would be your major concern right now about how Iran would respond to the U.S.?
Oh, sleeper cells.
Inside of the United States of America.
Yep.
And you now have leftists.
And the military, that's not their job.
Correct. It's Homeland Security's job.
Correct.
So you have leftists in Washington, D.C. right now who have agreed to deals, and when the deal got to the table, reneged on it.
Yeah.
You have leftists who have said, we refuse to do this as long as we have XYZ happening. Here's the takeaway that I have of this. The reason we don't have a deal to fund Homeland Security in the U.S., and this is why the video is important on CNN. The reason we don't have a deal is because the leftists in Washington, D.C., they want Americans to die. They desire that something bad happens on U.S. soil. Why? Because they will do exactly what Grant said CNN has already done, which is they will take all that time, and who will they blame? They will blame the opposing political party.
Yeah.
They will say it's his fault for not, it's their fault for not, as opposed to recognizing, hey, we're setting up the whole scenario to kill Americans. We're going to make this possible so that when it happens, we can blame the other guys. I am convinced that the reason we do not have a scenario in DC where HS is funded, Homeland Security is funded, right? DHS, Department of Homeland Security, is so Americans can die and they can claim somebody else did it. Walker's giving me the finger. Somebody else did that. We're going to come back. Hour 2 is always more fun. By the way, if you're listening in a place where you don't get Hour 2 of Implicit Bias Radio, call the station. Tell them, hey, I want my implicit bias. We'll see you after the break. Hour 2 of Implicit Bias Radio is always more fun. Why? Because, well, we're on our second bottle of weekly whiskey.
I won't shut up.
This is true. Anyway, let me welcome you back to the Mr. Lester's TSPL, where we have to walk through, because I'm not sure, because we had a segment issue in Hour 1 that was precipitated by yours truly. It's okay. It happens every now and then. And I'm not sure if we actually recapped what the actual special was at Mr. Lester Steakhouse
No, we didn't.
at Cypress Bayou Casino. So for those who don't know, I want to make sure that our whiskey drinking fans out there get the pours you deserve at the prices you deserve them at. And Mr. Lester's, man, they are facilitating that day in and day out. And during the month of March, these are the beautiful pours you can get for a total of $30. $30 gets you 5 pours at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. And these are the pours. It's a flight of 1792, a single barrel, a 12-year, a sweet wheat, a full proof, and a cognac cask. 5 pours, $30. And oh, by the way, they also have the Jack Daniel's Heritage for $10 a pour. I'm just saying, if you are a whiskey drinker and you want to go sit, and if you were born in the wrong era and feel like you needed to be part of the Rat Pack, Mr. Lester's is the place to go to sit in the cigar lounge, have a pour, have some food, have the best steak you will ever have in that cigar dining room, and just enjoy the evening. You will never forget it.
And Trem was done bummed $5 from each of us to go buy his flight.
I mean, $30 is like a quarter of a tank of gas.
Oh man,
$30.
yeah.
Like, I was personally at Cypress this weekend for an event, and if you've never been, I highly recommend going.
Oh my God, the food is just phenomenal.
It's the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston.
It's a great night out for you and your wife or couples. If you're looking for something to go, it's 45 minutes from Lafayette.
Yeah,
I mean,
about.
What I love about it is people complain about the distance,
but
and here's the reality. It is just far enough away to feel like I got away.
But get a room.
It is close enough.
Make sure you reserve your room, because after you eat that steak, you're going to need a nap.
You are.
But that's the good thing. Like if you stay there, you're only 45 minutes away. On Sunday when you come home,
That's it.
you can come back to
It's
go to church.
far enough away that you feel like you got away.
Yes.
It's still close enough that it doesn't take you half a day to get there.
No.
It doesn't take any of that extra time. You go down there. Time kind of suspends when you're down there and enjoy the food. It's fantastic.
The dining experience is just unreal.
It is.
It really
Even
is.
if you're going for the casino, I mean, the casino is. I personally, the casinos I go to, I hate it, the smoke. But down there, I never feel the smoke. Like
I keep trying to find out what kind of smoke system they have, and Chef Willie can't tell me. He said it's too complicated, because I need one of those at the shop. I mean, I really do. I mean, we sit there in the cigar room, in the cigar bar, and I mean, the smoke just it evaporates.
It
It's
does.
gone. We'll get 3 or 4 of us in there while we're recording, and it just evaporates. It's amazing.
Yep.
It's close parking. I mean, I know when you go to Lake Charles, you've got to park a mile
And
from
take
the
a
building.
shuttle bus.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In
No.
Cypress, I mean, you're close to everything. It's
Okay. So hour 2 of Implicit Bias Radio. By the way, Renee, I need to ask, because we haven't done this in a while and I don't know why, and you need to remind me when you're here. What cigar would you pair with this Dark Arts from New News, finished with French white oak staves?
Well, I was just in Honduras 3 weeks ago. Went to the GRE forum, and they have a cigar called the Aladino 85th. It's Pinarello tobacco.
Say that again.
Pinarello,
Okay.
which is the father tobacco that they made Corojo from. Corojo is another one of the Cuban tobaccos that nobody grows anymore except for JRE, because
I was going to
they
say,
figured out how to do it.
I was going to say Corojo is that tobacco that, they pulled from Cuba that they no longer grow anymore. I
Right.
was going to
Well-
say that, but you beat me to it.
But okay, Mr. Certified Master Tobacconist Identifier.
Tobaccist? Okay.
Tobacconist identifier. The Pinarello tobacco is the father tobacco that they hybridize Corojo from. They grow it. They're the only people that grow it. Cuba doesn't even grow it anymore because it doesn't yield a whole bunch on the plant. And this cigar, the 85th, is a puro, which is all the same tobacco. Different strata, different harvestings, bottom, middle, top, and different curings of the same tobacco, which changes the tobacco. It's a very, very unique blend.
Sounds like it's an extensive process
Oh yeah,
in order for them to
yeah.
build that particular cigar.
I mean, in the Aroa family, that's what they're known for, is these 2 tobaccos. They do some other ones, but majority of their tobaccos are Corojo, or very little Pinarillo, but more Corojo. And other people are buying their tobaccos because they know how to do it.
Get a couple of whiskeys in him. He speaks Spanish better than he speaks English. All right.
Yes.
So the name of that cigar one more time?
The Aladino 85th anniversary.
The Aladino 85th anniversary. Sounds like it'd be fantastic.
It's great.
So, Renee, one of the reasons that I don't partake of cigars all the time or more consistently,
because it just tears up your throat and you can't breathe.
It does feel like a small pack animal has defecated in my mouth the next morning, but that's a whole nother thing. This is the reason why, though, right? Because morning after morning, I get the same experience, which could almost be tied into an experiment that we found on the show that I think is highly relevant to what's going on maybe today. And it's why, I'll be honest, why I think men kind of retreated for a while from society before kind of men started coming back. And here's what I mean. So the experiment was called the clear glass experiment. So let me explain what happened with this particular scientific experiment. And it was more of behavior. So it was almost a psychological experiment more than anything else. A large fish tank was set up and a pike was put into that fish tank. Now, for those who don't know, pike are aggressive predators.
Yeah, it's not a southern fish. It's a northern fish.
It's a northern fish.
So most guys don't know what that is.
Well,
down here.
Correct. Most guys in the South don't know what that is. Imagine, I would think that a speckled trout would work. Speckled trout is a predator. It's sharp. It's got sharp teeth. What, Grant?
More of a barracuda type fish.
Okay, so close.
trout.
Okay,
Yeah.
Barracuda might be, but barracuda
Probably
is
not.
large.
It's a very aggressive fish.
Yes.
Northern pike and muskie.
Yes.
Yes.
Are in the same class.
So they put this fish into a fish tank. And then they inserted some of the other fish that the fish normally preys on. Well, what happened? It ate them. Shocker. This is what happens in nature. For those who say that, nature says we shouldn't eat meat, but if fish eat other fish, then why can't we eat fish? That's a whole nother story. Anyway, so they then, once the tank only has the pike in it, insert a clear glass wall into the tank that separates part of the tank from the section where the pike lives in the tank. And then they put the fish that are the prey,
The bait fish.
in the small section of the tank and the pike alone in his section or its section. Well,
Yeah,
what
don't
happened?
be a sexist. It might not be a male.
It might not. It very well might not. But it's either a male or a female, and we're pretty sure
That's
about
it.
that.
One of those two.
It's one of those two. Anyway,
It's aggressive fish.
the pike starts to do what a pike
Try to
does.
attack.
It tries to eat the small fish.
Yeah.
And instead of eating the small fish, what happens? It bangs into the invisible wall.
Yeah.
And it does it again and again and again and again and again until the pike no longer bothers trying to attack the small fish.
Pikes are slow learners.
This could be true. I did know some PKTs in college. Anyway, this though is the lesson of the story, is that the experiment then removed the glass wall. And anyone want to take a guess as to what the pike actually did?
It became a vegan.
Starved to death.
It certainly would not attack the other fish.
Right. Because it gave up.
Well,
It became a vegan.
It did more than give up. Grant, did you see this whole story?
Yeah, I didn't get to do a deep dive into this, but actually that surprises me.
So why does it surprise you?
It surprises me the actual memory or retention of a fish. Now I know they do experiments with cuttlefish and with octopi, and
Yeah, they're very intelligent.
very very intelligent creatures. It surprised me that the pike would have enough memory retention to realize, look, if I go in that direction after a prey fish, instinctually, a lot of fishermen know that a lot of fish strikes on lures are not necessarily about food, but out of just plain aggression. They're protecting their territory. So it really surprised me with this. Like I said, I didn't get to deep dive into this, but I will after the show because I really want to see how the pike would have that much of a memory of
I mean,
retention.
So this is
that's
this,
basically a learned behavior.
this is where the romanticism of stupidity becomes a really big issue. Because some people would look at that and go, oh, look at the learned behavior we were able to teach the fish. What we have now asked that fish to do is not be what that fish was created by God to be.
Right.
And that's the problem. And societally, I think it applies to men. I think as men, we were men for so long. And then every time we became a man, we were told, oh, you're terrible. Oh, you're a jerk for being a man. Oh, you are toxic. Oh, you are this, you are that. You're such a man. You're mansplaining, you're manspreading, you're being toxic. You're doing all these things. And men just got tired of it and went, fine, I don't want to deal with you anymore. We became the fish in the glass wall experiment.
Well, some people became fish.
Some people did. And that's where we romanticized stupidity.
Yeah.
Because it was the guys who bought into that. And I would argue that now, if you look at men as a whole, there's still a section of men who buy into that. And the crazy part is they never had to run into the glass wall to learn it. They learned it from others who did.
Right.
Trammell?
Well, I mean, to me, back to what Grant was saying, it's a basic instinct for that fish. He has to eat. Like, and that, I mean, that's not.
But if it's the same fish that are in there, is he not looking for a different fish to eat?
Well, I kind of look at it, the other way I look at it is from a sales side of it, is that pike is almost like a salesman. He's aggressive. He has to go pick up those new accounts and new business, which is the fish
Fair.
on the other side. So he's constantly hitting that wall, banging that wall, and he's getting those no's and pulling those doors and trying to get accounts, and he's not getting them. Well, that salesman can give up and go lay on that floor and give up, and he loses his job.
You know, and you think that hasn't happened?
Yes, it has.
It
but
happens. It happens all the time. And you know what those salesmen who have that happen to them do? They go into something else. They go to a different job. They say, I don't want to be in sales anymore.
Right.
Right? It's the same. The philosophy doesn't change. The only thing that changes is it's a fish to a man. It's a man to his food. It's a man to his job. It is learned behavior that after running into a brick wall so many times, men finally went, I'm done.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And if you look at the statistics, young men today,
They're weak.
not only, I don't know that they're weak, they're apathetic, which is even worse.
See, that's where I got to give Walker credit. After all the crap you give him every week, he still shows up.
Yeah, because I still write a paycheck.
Oh, okay. Well, I retract that statement.
But the point is this. The point is, there is a generation of young men out there today who are like, I want nothing to do with dating.
They don't want to even try.
Why? Because they have seen their brethren run into the glass wall 24/7, and they're like, I ain't dealing with crazy. And if that one's crazy, they're all crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Grant.
Just thank Trump for that. I mean,
For coming back? Yeah.
absolutely. Over the past 10, 15 years, I think. I mean, even in sitcoms, you got people who talk about the complete emasculation of the American male. So if that's where you were going with this, because I was trying to figure out, you always tie all of the subjects in together so well. So I was trying to think, where's he going with this?
This is why we can't romanticize the stupidity of not letting men be men.
Correct. So why is it that the like I said earlier, the idiot base on the left, obviously, you would think if they keep banging their head against the stupidity that they put out, but they still don't learn.
Okay. They
Even
continue.
though it's so obvious.
So it's different because they
Why
continue.
are they not learning?
Because they continue to be rewarded. There is no glass wall for them. You know why? Because there's ABC, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC. There's all these outlets. There's Vox, there's HuffPost, where they can go and think that they never hit a glass wall, that they got the fish they were looking for, because they're told, you're right. You're right. Yes, there was a tape where the now president of the United States urinated on a bed with two hookers in Russia. They were told yes for 6 years, right? They were told, yes, the sitting president of the United States was involved in child trafficking. They were told this. Their views are just in this echo chamber that allows them to think they're right. And if they don't step out of it and hear or see substantial evidence otherwise, they believe it. And even when they do hear substantial evidence otherwise, unless it truly breaks the matrix of the psyche that they live in, they get the reward. They don't hit the glass wall.
Yeah. So they're living very comfortably within their walled off partitions.
Which is why they're flying to Cuba first class to tell people who have no electricity, no garbage pickup, who are dying on ventilators because they're throwing a concert while they stay in a 5-star hotel, wear $1,000 pair of glasses and $700 shirts, just how bad the United States is and why they should stay with communism. Walker gave me the finger. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. More Implicit Bias Radio after this. Hour 2 rolling on this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio. We have a great crew here in the Mr. Lester's TSPL this week. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. Caleb Morris off doing Caleb Morris things. So Renee stole his chair.
I didn't steal it. I'm just sitting in it.
You're just borrowing it.
I'm borrowing it. I won't leave with it.
You won't. Okay. No, you can't because it won't fit in your vehicle.
Yeah, it will.
It won't fit in your Buick.
Oh, I could. I could make it fit.
Yeah, I know you'd try.
If you wouldn't have parked in my spot, I could make it fit a lot easier.
Yeah. All right. At the Mr. Lester's TSPL bar, Grant Galatas of William S. Nacall Jewelers. I'm getting rolling.
Who's drunk on that?
I'll tell you what, it's a vowel consonant battle over there.
You think we're Chechenian over here with like 9 consonants in a row, right? Yeah. That is Grant Galatas of William S. Nacall Jewelers. Sitting next to him is Mike Trammell of Box Drop and also of Clear Springs Water, which, we'd love to have you guys as really part of the show.
Oh man, that's a tough one. Come on. I have the best seat in the house tonight because I can see Renee right here and like just watch him and his emotions. He's had a good night tonight.
He's had a good night tonight.
Oh yeah, it's a great night fun. Every time I'm on the show.
Mike, I think you've actually had a good night. No donkey whiskey tonight?
Oh no, this is, man, I love this man over here.
Yeah. Our audience.
So
he loves our audience.
You've had new news.
I've had new news.
You've had the new news Dark Arts pick, which is fantastic. And then, of course, our studio audience brought gifts. You got to sample from members of the Implicit Bias Liquor Collective, correct?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very good.
Yeah. Thank you. Now you can be quiet. Anyway, I'm kidding. All right. So fun stories this week as we refuse to romanticize stupidity on Implicit Bias Radio. I want to make sure I get this name correct because this name, man, it's important. And this actually happened in Georgia this week. Deborah Leslie. She's a state attorney in Georgia.
That works for the state.
Yes. That would be the definition of a state attorney.
Well, I mean, make sure it's district works for the state. A state attorney.
She is a state attorney. She
not
is
attorney
arguing,
in the state.
No, she is not correct.
Yeah, okay.
She is arguing a case in front of the Georgia State Supreme Court, not the U.S. Supreme Court, which other people might know as SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States. Right? This is the Georgia Supreme Court. And Justice Peterson in Georgia, ring the bell for Justice Peterson, please. Because Justice Peterson, he's on point. Because Deborah Leslie, and this is fun. Deborah Leslie is apparently romanticizing stupidity. Because Deborah Leslie used AI to write her brief.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
She used artificial intelligence to write the brief. And what did her artificial intelligence do? It made up case law.
Yeah. Made up cases.
That's would be case law. It made up precedent cases that she argued in front of the Georgia State Supreme Court. And Justice Peterson in Georgia caught it. Called her out on it.
The video was funny too. She's standing on her stand and flipping through her pages and she goes, I don't know what to do.
Hold on, wait. If you're on video, you need to see this. How did she do that, Renee?
And she was totally lost. She got busted.
She got busted big time. Grant?
Get used to this crap.
Why do you say that?
Because we were talking about this the other day, actually. There's a giant just level of students now who are getting through college on ChatGPT and using AI, and they're going to actually earn degrees, and they're going to be earning what they do in college, not based on knowledge or their own studies, their own efforts, their own intelligence. They're using all of these wonderful little internet toys to actually earn their degree. So they're going to go out to practice what they've learned. And I say learned, quote unquote, and they're going to have no basic knowledge of what they're doing. Which is scary for the medical profession. Hopefully it doesn't go on as much because you have to prove your medical skill.
Not just medical though, Grant.
But for a lawyer.
Every profession.
But for a lawyer, it's all book.
Here's the worst part.
It's all book and memory.
Here's the worst part, which is number one, the AI that was utilized had to be given a prompt in order to write the case. So if anybody here has ever used AI to do anything, and I'm pretty sure Walker is the student you're talking about because that's how he cheated his way through college. That's right. Yeah, anyway, Walker, you're good. No. Yeah. So my point is, if you've used AI, I am completely transparent. I utilize AI to assist in the monologues for this show. But this is what you have to do. You have to give it a prompt. You have to tell AI what you want in order to get it to spit out a response. Renee knows where I'm going with this.
But so she forgot the step to say use actual case law or documented cases?
No. You got to read the damn thing that AI puts out to make sure that it's accurate.
Ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell.
Geez.
In other
Don't
words,
just let it print out and then go, there it is. No, you got to read it.
So there's two levels here. There is number one.
If she had prompted it by saying use actual documented case study,
you still can't go by
generate
that.
this.
It should have generated it.
Yeah, but you still can't go
so
by
wait.
it.
She wasn't even smart enough to do that.
So hold on. So first of all,
That's beautiful.
What was the prompt that she utilized?
Oh, I don't know.
To get it to write the brief? Did she say, prove this brief by any means necessary? Because AI typically won't just make stuff up without a prompt to do it. So did she, number one, write the prompt and hope that the Georgia State Supreme Court wasn't going to catch it? That's number one. It's the first question I have. The second question I have is, did she even freaking read what AI put out to check it for accuracy? The third question I have is, did she in fact give it the right prompt, read it, and she's too stupid to know that the cases were made up?
Yeah. Probably because she didn't read it. Oh, by the way, it's Scotsag.
Oh, that's Georgia's?
Yeah.
Supreme Court of Georgia.
The state of Georgia.
Okay.
Scotsag. Caleb's not here, so I got to make up the acronyms. I mean,
I can't lie. I'm actually impressed, Renee. I am impressed with that one.
I've been running that through my brain for the last 5 minutes to get that right.
You're going to kill me on this show. That was good. That was funny. I'm amazed that your brain could process that as Angry Drunkle on this week's show, because I know you're still upset that I took your parking spot.
Well, yeah.
But AI, as good as it is, you still have to proofread. Like I do a lot of stuff.
That's the mistake most people don't do.
Yes, like
they use AI and do not read what AI printed.
I use it a lot. I mean, I'm everything. I'm the janitor. I'm the parking lot assistant. I'm the orderer. I'm everything, and I have to do like graphics for Facebook. And sometimes it'll come back and it'll say like for box drop, it'll say box drip. It
will.
You've got to go back and proofread it. And I know Renee was doing that, but she was dumbfounded. She was like, "Wait, I got empty pages right here. I didn't read none of this." She didn't proofread anything.
She was lost. She really was.
AI's great on a lot of things, but I don't think it's to the point where you can just type in what you want and it's good.
And honestly, what Grant said at the beginning of this segment is so on point. When Grant said get used to this crap, because we have generations of students. This is the sad part. They're already here.
Well, look on Facebook, how many people make these flyers? They're that generic AI ChatGPT flyer that, I see 30 of those flyers on
with
Facebook.
misspelations in it. That's a word I created.
That is a new word. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is a new word.
misspelations.
I want to look further into this because I swear. I mean, think about what she had to do because AI wouldn't just take something. She had to say what point she was trying to make, and then AI actually made up false cases.
Yes.
Think about how specific she would have had to be.
Correct.
But was she being that openly deceptive, or was she just so out of sorts that she said, just make up something that sounds legitimate to prove the point I'm trying to achieve?
And they won't check.
These are all the
yeah,
questions we have
I
on
know,
Implicit
I wanna-
Bias
I wanna
Radio.
look
We got
into
the
this.
1 minute finger. We're going to come back. Penultimate segment already, Walker.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. Stick around for more Implicit Bias Radio. Walker finally does his job. We get the penultimate segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio underway. What, Walker? Say it.
Nothing.
He didn't have to.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
He didn't have to redo a segment.
No, he didn't. And it's rare that we do. But hey, I would rather put the
Yes.
right stuff on the air
I tried to talk
Then-
you into
then
just a
just-
retraction.
than just do
but
a little
she's like,
retraction.
No,
Nope.
we got to redo it.
Correct. We do have to redo it.
You got
Speaking of
you got
people-
integrity.
Speaking of people who need to redo things, did y'all catch the Workday story that I sent out? Does anybody know what Workday even is? This is
I
gonna
read
be
all
fun.
I read all the things, but
Apparently you
gotta-
didn't because Workday was in there.
Yeah, but
so
I'm
here
old.
we go.
I'll forget.
And you forget also
Yeah.
to not curse on the radio, so
Yes.
Walker's going to have to edit that out.
Yes.
All right. So there is a new lawsuit that is now being allowed to proceed. It is a class action suit against a company called Workday. Workday is a software screening program for human resource professionals. So talent acquisition uses Workday. A lot of people have entered their resumes into Workday for distribution to companies that are looking for employees. And take a guess what Workday was doing. Workday was using AI from our last segment, apparently, to scan resumes. So for those who don't know how resumes work today for big organizations, everything gets fed into AI. The AI has an algorithm. Human resource professionals tell the AI, this is what we're looking for. The algorithm scans the resume and says, this resume applies, this resume doesn't. So instead of people having to sit down and actually read resumes about other people, the AI scans thousands of resumes almost immediately and says, here are the resumes you want to look at for the job that you are about to hire. Well, Workday just lost an appeal because Workday was excluding people over a certain age.
Yeah.
That sounds
There's a law against that.
like, oh, there's a word.
Age discrimination.
I was about to say it starts with a D, but it's not the fun D word.
Discrimination.
That is exactly what this is.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm curious here in the TSPL because what we have in the TSPL is self-employed, used to work for big companies, now self-employed,
You finally wisened up.
Walker unemployed. And
No, he's employed.
Walker's not unemployed. No,
You pay him.
He is self-employed. I do pay him. He is self-employed. But I don't know that anyone in here other than maybe me and our studio audience who's ever had to go through that online resume submission process.
When I was looking for jobs, online didn't exist.
Renee, when you were looking for jobs, paper didn't exist.
That's true.
It was
We did-
nothing but stone tablets.
Exactly.
You and Fred Flintstone were chiseling things into a big stone. Anyway, these 10 commandments. Anyway,
Park the wagon.
yeah.
It's like a parking lot assistant for the wagon.
But the point here is AI now causing more problems than it's solving?
Well, it could be the way, depending on what information you're asking AI to look for. Just like the previous story that we did with the attorney. Depends on how you set that AI up.
So this is the interesting part. If you are any company that utilized Workday, to gather resumes. There are, for those who don't know, there are what's called protected classes in the United States. And if you work for a really big company, they teach you about these protected classes. Protected classes include certain minorities with regards to your racial background, certain genders, and
Only two.
And
There's only
certain age groups.
Right.
So for those who don't know, anyone over 45 who is discriminated against for their age qualifies for age discrimination. So if you're a Fortune 500 company that utilizes Workday, the last thing you want is to purchase a software that is liable, or the last thing you want is to have, even before they get to you, those who apply for jobs with your company being discriminated against.
Yeah.
Because guess what that makes you if you knew about it?
Yeah, but the thing is Workday really at fault here? Because depending on the company, they have to input the criteria for the job.
My point, you're making it for me. Because guess what? Workday doesn't deal with one company.
Well,
What you are talking about is having to have Fortune 300 companies. If 10% of them, that's 30 companies,
right.
you would have to have 30 companies all submit the same exact exclusion criteria in order to exclude everyone over the age of 45. Workday was only passing along resumes of those under certain ages, which means it was built into the algorithm.
Oh, well, then that's a problem.
And
But,
that
I mean,
is
if-
that is the accusation that will be settled in court. And look, here's the deal. If you are over the age of 45 as of a certain date and you submitted resumes into Workday, they are now potentially liable for you not getting a job.
They just basically kicked you out.
So think about this. What are they liable now for? They are now liable for a class action suit, which is in the works. It's what's happening. It's there. People can go sign up. You know, if you had mesothelioma and you were stationed near Camp Pendleton, I mean, that's the commercials that you're about to see for
Right.
Workday. If you were 45 years old and you submitted a resume through Workday and did not get a call back, call us and sign up for. That's what's happening, because it means it had to be built into the algorithm.
Yeah. Well,
This is about to happen for millions of people in the United States. And here's the really crazy part. When you think about the potential damages, you've got millions of people times hundreds of thousands of dollars a year per person.
and the amount of jobs.
That's the point.
Yeah. Kavan, thank you for not using Workday, because I would not be here if you did.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like to apply for the show? Oh, no.
Yeah, I was
I would
about
have
to
been
say-
excluded.
I had applied for lead host of the show and I didn't get it.
They excluded you?
I'm over 45.
Yeah.
so,
Dude, jump in.
They obviously use Workday.
Yeah.
But this story to me is fascinating
Yeah.
because this is a
Well-
precedent-setting case.
There again, AI starting to take over things that,
But this is the problem here is this isn't the AI. This is who built the AI, because they built it this way on purpose.
well, did AI not learn this?
It's a good question to
You know,
ask.
because AI supposedly learns. Did it not learn that people over 45 aren't worth hiring? Or is too expensive to
I
hire?
love it. They're not worth hiring. I think
Or
the
they're
bigger
too
question
expensive to hire.
the bigger question is, number one, are they too expensive to hire? The even bigger question is, do people over the age of 45, because they align to a specific generation, maybe not buy into the corporate culture
45.
BS?
45s aren't boomers, man.
No.
No.
They're a generation that's way better than boomers.
Hey,
they're
hey,
Gen X.
hey.
45, that's Gen X. And
I'm a
that's
boomer.
the one. Shocker. I'm
Get off-
surprised you're not
Get
a
off
Levite.
my lawn.
I'm surprised you're not a Levite, Renee. I mean, come on. All right. So the thought process here, though, is this. Is it AI? And I like the question, did AI not learn this? Or is it the people who built AI wanting to make sure? Or now this is where it gets really big, and this is where the liability comes in, because discovery in this case should happen.
Yeah.
If I'm an attorney, and I'm not one, I did not sleep at a Holiday Inn last night either. I don't care, but this is my thought process, which is I'm going to go after not just Workday. I'm going to go after everybody who bought Workday. And I'm going to subpoena emails for every communication they had with Workday. And what I'm looking for the corporations that say we want to make sure we get candidates between the ages of.
Well, that
in those communications.
And you got to go and look at the raw programming.
Yep.
How was that program put together?
Correct.
Did AI learn it, or was it programmed that way?
Maybe you learned it, maybe you didn't, but this is Implicit Bias Radio. So maybe you just learned to ask the question for the last segment of this week's episode when we come back. Another Mandela effect in 2026. We've talked about this on the show, and this is one that I don't get. So first of all, I was a child of the 70s, 80s, early 90s as a young man, and do not tell me that Sinbad did not star in a movie called Shazam. I saw him as a genie. I watched the movie. Don't tell me it didn't happen. Don't tell me that Fruit of the Loom never had the actual cornucopia. It was just fruit. Saw the cornucopia, saw it all. This one I don't remember because this one's recent. Apparently, we have a new Mandela effect question in society. Welcome back to Implicit Bias Radio. Let me introduce you to the crew who's here, because I just kind of started with that flow of consciousness that happens on this show when you solve the problems of the world 12 to 13 weekly whiskeys at a time. At the bar, Grant Galatas of William S. Nacall Jewelers, who was an absolute last-minute call in from the bullpen, and he has come in clutch on this week's show. Grant, thank you for being here.
Put me in, Coach.
He's ready to play. Next to him is Mike Trammell. He is...
Put me in, Coach.
So, Mike, we have to come up with a new nickname for you because Grant's K and B. Renee is the C-Watt.
That's classic.
You were the wheel, and it worked. But that's not your business anymore.
Renee.
It's not your business anymore.
No.
Yeah, Renee gave you that nickname. That's not your business anymore, though. So,
I mean, the greatest producer ever for the show came up with the legend for me. Sam.
rest in peace. He's dead. So that nickname's dead too. He's not really dead, by the way. He's just dead to us because he left the show. All right.
Sorry, Walker.
Yeah, no, you should say I'm sorry to us.
I got it.
Anyway.
I got it.
Well, we had the drip.
Yeah, I think the drip fits.
The drip sounds like a mafia nickname. Like
Dude.
he's Mike the Drip Trammell. I mean,
Yeah,
When I
exactly.
think of drip, I'm thinking something else.
You need a shot for that.
you thinking the guys?
You got to shake before
you need a shot for
You got
that.
the drip.
They got a shot for that.
We gonna call you the geyser? I don't know.
No. The drip. He's
And that,
Mike
of course,
the Drip Trammell.
that of course
Trammell.
is Renee Drunkle. Yeah,
Almost.
almost. Yeah. Hey, if you had a good time, that's all it cares.
Oh,
matters,
it's great.
right?
Great
This is
whiskeys.
Implicit Bias Radio. Okay, so this is the Mandela effect that I was talking about in this last segment of this week's show. I always thought Chick-fil-A was spelled CHICK-FIL-A.
Used to be, not with the K.
Okay,
Used to
some people are saying that it's always been with a K.
be. Used to be no K.
It's always had a K.
Well,
Okay, how do we get here
how do you prove it?
where we have? Yeah, how do you prove it? Because I
I don't
mean, you can go back on the internet.
Let me
and
go see
search
if I
it a
got some
little
old
bit.
rappers.
How old would those rappers be? I mean, that's my question.
Yeah.
How far back do you have to go to say that it had just the C?
Yeah,
CHIC-FIL-A.
yeah.
Well, I mean, couldn't you find old video like here locally, like from Ambassador Cafferty, the old Chick-fil-A?
You would think. I mean, does it go that far back, or do you have to go even farther back when the only Chick-fil-A here in Lafayette was in the
All
mall?
birthday parties that were
That's
back in
closed
the
now
day.
and gone.
Yeah, it is.
Back in the day with all the birthday parties for the kids, and the Chick-fil-A on Ambassador, they used to have a playground and all. There's got to be.
Somebody's got to have
There's something.
some picture somewhere.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you. I think years ago there was no K. That's a recent innovation, I think.
Here to me is where the ultimate proof would land. If in fact, at one time, Chick-fil-A was only spelled with a C without the CK in chick, the branding changes nationwide would be so costly
Yes.
for the number of stores that they have to change the signage on every Chick-fil-A to go from CHIC-FIL-A to the new CHICK-FIL-A. What? Are you showing me the 1 minute finger walker? Oh, you're stretching over there. I see. Anyway, this would be the telltale for me. The expense would be in the millions of dollars for the number of Chick-fil-A's in existence. I mean, then again, I guess if you're Renee, you remember when the very first Chick-fil-A happened in
When
Atlanta.
they used to bring the wagon up to Chick-fil-A for the.
Well, it was before the chicken. It was the egg. Then.
But
I was about to say,
it's
when
kind
you-
of like the Monopoly man, as he had a monocle.
To me, always
Yes.
had a monocle.
Yes.
Never had a monocle. Yo.
Always had a
Never
monocle.
monocle.
There is
Yeah.
no reason why in Ace Ventura, when they made fun of the Monopoly man, the guy wouldn't have had a monocle. The Monopoly man always had a
Always had
monocle.
a
Thinking of
monocle.
Mr. Peanut, he had the monocle.
Yeah,
No.
he did.
He did. Mr. Peanut had a monocle. So did the freaking Monopoly
No,
man.
he
Yep.
did not. He did not. Do y'all have an old Monopoly game at home?
I'm
I
sure
don't
I
know.
got one. I got one that was in stone tablet thing.
It was written in Sanskrit.
Yes. Which I don't read, so I don't understand what it
But
says.
another one too is Jif peanut butter. A lot of people think it's Jiffy.
No, it's Jeff.
No, it's always been Jif.
Okay.
That's always been
with,
Jif.
with one F.
And there's another Luke, I'm your father. He never said that.
No, he said, I am your father.
Luke, no, he never said that.
He never said, I'm your father.
Nope.
What did he say?
What did he say?
He. This is one of the.
This is a Star Wars reference for those who don't know.
Yeah, he said, I am not. Man, don't quote me on this.
What?
Well, oh, no.
That's what we're doing
See,
is quoting.
this is the problem.
Programming on this, like the.
You got programmed
Mandela-
on this, is what you're
there's
saying.
Definitely, he did not say that. After the show, we'll look at it. But I guarantee you, he did not say that.
I can see Russia from my house.
Which that was never
Sarah
said.
Palin
Never
said
said
that. Tina Fey said that.
Correct. Tina Fey said that on Saturday Night Live,
Yes.
and everybody juxtaposed that
Yes.
with actual Sarah Palin and said, "Oh, Sarah Palin said this." That was one of the great hoaxes in all of media, coupled
Right.
with you can't spell potato with an E on the end, which is the old English spelling.
Right.
That Dan Quayle, the way he spelled
Yes.
it,
Yes.
and I believe he was educated at Oxford for college, so he would have had some of that reference there, right? But it's okay. So the whole "I am your father,"
Let me look it up, Rick.
there had to be some
Yeah. How would he
inference there.
reference
How would Luke have known?
that
that-
Darth Vader was his father?
Chick-fil-A has a K.
I don't say Chick-fil-A
gotcha.
never had a K.
I got you. It
Uh-oh.
says the line "No, I am your father" is a famous movie quote. The line is often misquoted as "Luke, I am your father."
Okay, so he says "I am your father." It's just not Luke. It's no. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Luke. Like when at the beginning of that.
no. You know why they say that? Because you look like Tommy Boy sitting in front of the fan, going "Lu lu 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 Luke, I am your father."
Chick-fil-A has a K.
Oh, I think we're gonna kill Renee on this week's show.
Oh,
we
man.
did attempt to kill Renee at Mr. Lester's one year.
The pollen is too much here. I got that sinus drip now.
So what would the point be for all of this?
Here's the
Because you're right. Look, the expense to do that. I
Yeah.
honestly couldn't tell you. I never ate that much Chick-fil-A to know that when it
Oh, I
first
love
got
Chick-fil-A.
really famous.
Here's the thing. I never cared about what the sign looked like. I always just cared about what I got in my food.
Yes.
That's it.
Sandwich is awesome.
Here's
But
my
there's too many of these popping up.
here's my only thought behind all of this, Grant, and it's this. As Renee makes me laugh again. The thought behind all
That's
of it is
what I'm here
this,
for. Comic relief.
is that we, I believe, are tested daily to see what can be changed in our past without it actually happening. This is a deep rabbit hole. We've been down this rabbit hole. Oh, goodness. What was the book? Strange Things in the Canyon, Strange Events in the Canyon, where literally they talked about implanting memories. I think that there are certain people who wish to implant memories on a large scale.
So not as sinister as 1984, where they're trying to literally rewrite history.
No, I think it's absolutely as sinister as
sinister.
1984. And
Very
that's
Orwellian.
that's why you watch Implicit Bias Radio. It's why you listen on radio or podcast. Please follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube, Facebook. Thanks to all our new Facebook followers. We're blowing up there. Look forward to seeing you in 7. By the way, bonus content will be tons of fun this week because the weekly whiskey has been flowing. Don't miss it on Implicit Bias Radio. See you in 7. Cheers.